In a village nestled amidst lush green fields lived a couple named Simona and her husband Jashim. Their lives were as simple as the clay huts that dotted their surroundings. Simona was a devoted housewife, her days filled with household chores and her nights with dreams for her little son. In the city's vibrant heart, Jashim stumbled upon a casino, a place that promised fortunes with every spin and dealt card. The allure was too strong to resist, especially for a man who toiled under the scorching sun, dreaming of a life less ordinary. Jashim, on the other hand, was a hard-working farmer whose strong arms were as much admired as his kind heart. Their tiny mud house might have lacked material comforts, but it was rich in the warmth of family and the quiet joy of simple living. That is, until Jashim's world tilted on its axis. Jashim, already in a bad mood, lashed out, hitting the little boy hard. That night, as Simona dressed her son's wounds, she broke inside. Jashim, drunk as ever, just laughed and shouted, "Let your kid die. I need the money for the casino." Those words, laced with hate and indifference, tore through her. That night, something inside her snapped. This became their new reality. The daily abuse, the suffocating silence, the knowing fear. The fear in her eyes was gone, replaced by a steely resolve. She wasn't going to take it anymore. Jashim was handed over to the police and the whispers in the village changed. The once hushed tones now carried a new respect for Simona. She didn't just fight for herself, she gave strength to many. She marched to the village council, then to the local women's committee, her head held high, showing them the bruises that told the story of her pain. It's a story that reminds us that one woman speaking up can be the catalyst for change, giving strength to many who've remained silent for far too long. She spoke, and in her voice, they heard their own silenced stories. And if you'd like the realistic YouTube thumbnail image for this story, let me know in the comments. I can make one for you right now. She broke the silence that generations of women in the village had carried. No, he brought with him bottles of cheap liquor, his only solace now. As she raised the knife, the image of Babu, his face pale with pain, flashed in her mind. For a moment, she hesitated. Then with newfound resolve, she turned back, marched to the kitchen, and washed the knife. She tried talking to Jashim when he was sober, but words couldn't penetrate the wall of addiction that had become her husband. The happy chatter of their home was replaced by the clinking of bottles and the slur of drunken boasts. It happened when Jashim, accompanied by his friends, decided to take a break from the monotony of village life and visit the nearby city. She picked up a large knife from the counter, its cold steel a stark contrast to the burning determination in her eyes. She looked at it, then at the sleeping Jashim, in their room, his snores echoing the emptiness of his being, drunk and oblivious to the turmoil he had caused. Little did he know that this trip would change him, changing their lives forever. At first, it was just small wins, enough to get him hooked and dreaming of bigger scores. What started as a hobby soon became an obsession, consuming his thoughts, his time, and most worryingly, his money. Jashim found himself spending all his savings and then some, and soon he wasn't winning. He was always deep in debt. It was at this point that his life took a darker turn. Gambling had become his life, his one true love, and he was ready to do anything to be with it. The once kind and gentle Jashim was replaced by a stranger, a man twisted by addiction, his eyes hollow, his demeanor cold and distant. Jashim started demanding money from Simona every day, sometimes as much as 10,000 rupees, and if she couldn't give it, he would beat her. Slaps, kicks, even insults. Her life, once filled with the simple joys of existence, now revolved around Jashim's moods and his insatiable demands. When he came home, it wasn't with tales of his big wins or plans for their future, and then came the worst. One evening, Jashim came home drunk and Babu, not knowing any better, dropped his toy near his feet. No one in the village ever intervened. Society just told her to adjust. But how could she adjust to a life of pain and fear? Then one night, Babu had a high fever. Simona went to Jashim, her voice shaking, and asked for money to buy medicine. At 3 a.m., while everyone was asleep, Simona walked silently to the kitchen. Her steps were slow, her hands trembled. She walked towards the door, each step echoing in the silence of the night. The next morning, when the sun rose, it found a changed Simona. That day, the village saw its first real stand. This story is not just about Simona. It's the story of countless women who find themselves trapped in a life of silence and abuse. If you like this story and want to hear more, please let me know.